Okay, so today we're diving deep, but like in a meta way, right? We're using,
Deep dive into a deep dive.
exactly, using an outline for a potential podcast episode
Yeah. Oh, wow.
about relationships, to talk about
Wow,
relationships.
so meta.
I know, right?
Very cool.
A little crazy.
Yeah.
But also kind of perfect, right?
It is.
Because, well, for one thing, it means someone out there is thinking about the same things we are. Like, how do we actually make relationships work? You know?
Exactly. And it proves that, like, all those struggles, those obstacles, the things that we think we're going through alone,
Oh, totally.
other people are dealing with them too.
Yeah. And this outline, it's like, it's not shying away from the hard stuff either.
No, it's
Yeah.
going right for it.
Yeah. Communication breakdowns, trust issues,
So worse.
and the big one,
Than
financial stress.
money.
Like, that's the trifecta of relationship challenges right there.
It really is.
Okay, so where do we even start?
Well, I mean, the outline itself starts with
With communication.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's the foundation of everything. If you can't communicate,
Absolutely.
what you have, really.
You got nothing. Yeah.
But why is it so hard? Like, we all talk all day long.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
we're constantly communicating,
Yeah.
but are we really connecting?
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
It's quantity versus quality.
Yeah. Like, we're so busy firing off texts and emails and, like, scrolling through social media.
Posting, liking, commenting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That we forget how to actually, like, sit down and really
Exactly.
talk.
Have a conversation.
Yeah, with someone right in front of us.
Eye to eye.
Yeah.
And really listen.
Listen. Like, that's a lost art.
Oh, it is.
So how do we get it back? Any tips from the outline on that?
Well, it's not a how-to manual,
Right.
but I think what it's getting at is this.
It's not just about talking. It's about understanding.
Oh.
Okay. Like, really trying to see things from your partner's perspective.
Empathizing.
Totally. Putting yourself in their shoes, even if you don't agree.
Yeah, that's tough, though.
It is, but that's what makes it so powerful.
Right,
Yeah.
because it shows you're willing to try,
Yeah,
to bridge that gap.
exactly.
Okay, so that's communication. But this outline, it goes deeper, right?
It does.
Let's talk about the big T.
Trust.
Trust, yeah.
Oof.
And it's often unwelcome companion.
Jealousy.
Jealousy. Oh, boy.
Yeah, these two, they can really wreak havoc.
Big time. Like,
Uh-huh.
they can sneak in even when you think everything's fine.
Absolutely. Like, you can be in a totally solid, loving relationship,
Totally.
and then bam,
Out of nowhere.
yeah, a pang of jealousy.
And you're like, wait, where did this come from?
Right, what's happening?
It's confusing
Very much so.
and frustrating.
It is. And it can be really damaging if you don't address it.
Address it. But how? Like, what do you do with those feelings?
Well, I think the first step is understanding that trust and jealousy, they're not just surface level emotions.
Oh, I see.
They're often tied to deeper stuff.
Deeper stuff, like what?
Like past experiences, past relationships, maybe where trust was broken,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
or even just general anxieties about being good enough.
Insecurities.
Exactly. So it's not always about what your partner is doing or not doing. It's often about what's going on inside you.
Whoa, okay, so it's like an inside job.
In a way, yeah.
So how do we deal with that?
I think the first step is acknowledging it, like being honest with yourself about what's driving those feelings.
Being self-aware.
Totally. And then talking to your partner.
Communication again.
It always comes back to that.
Okay, so communication is like the magic key.
It's a pretty important one. Yeah.
Okay, but what about the other big one? The one that can really sink a relationship ship.
Financial stress.
Yeah. This outline, it doesn't pull any punches on this one. It says right out, money problems can be a major source of conflict.
Oh, they absolutely can.
But why? Like, it's just money, right?
Well, on the surface, yes. It's just money.
Yeah.
But what we have to realize is that money represents so much more.
Okay, like what?
Security, freedom,
Okay.
control our values, even our self-worth sometimes.
Wow, that's a lot to load onto a dollar bill.
It is, but think about it. If you're constantly stressed about money, it's hard to feel secure in your life, in your relationship.
Absolutely.
And if you and your partner have different spending habits or different financial goals, those underlying anxieties and values start to clash.
It's like a recipe for disaster.
It can be, yeah.
So what's the solution?
Communication.
Of course.
But this time, it's not just about talking. It's about planning.
Planning.
Yeah. Like sitting down together, creating a budget.
Budgeting.
I know, not the most romantic thing.
Not really.
But it's essential.
Okay, fine. Budgeting.
And talking about your long-term financial goals.
Okay, so it's like a financial heart-to-heart.
That's a good way to put it.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Communication, trust, finances. Whew.
It's a lot, right?
It is. But, the fact that this outline even exists, it's kind of hopeful, right?
It is. Yeah.
Like, it means that these challenges, even though they're tough, they're not insurmountable.
Absolutely not.
We can work through them if you're willing to put in the effort.
And be honest with ourselves and each other.
Totally.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the takeaway for our listeners today. Relationships, they're not always smooth sailing.
No, they're not.
But if you've got the right tools, the right map, so to speak, you can navigate those stormy seas.
Absolutely.
And come out stronger on the other side.
Stronger together.
Exactly. So think about it. What are your tools? What's your map for navigating relationships?
What are your stormy seas?
And how can you use what we've talked about today to chart a smoother course?
That's a good question to ponder.
I think so too.
Yeah.